Well, good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
We'll go ahead and get this evening's meeting started. So appreciate everybody coming out to our regular July meeting for Clay County Board of Education. And we'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance. If Mr. Caldwell doesn't mind.
Attention. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Ms. Beck, would you mind to read the Clay County mission statement, please?
The mission of Clay County Schools is to build high-quality learning environments that ensure all students learn at high levels.
Thank you. Our next meeting will be August the 26th. That's the only announcement that we have this evening.
It's the first day of school.
First day of school.
It always falls that way.
It's going to be a
Seems
busy
like
day.
it,
Yeah.
And then I'll entertain a motion that we approve the agenda as it's presented in front of you.
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda.
Ms. Crawford, is there a second to that? Second. And then Angie said no public comment, right? So we'll move on to our recognition section, and we'll start with Mr. Oberlin and Santiago.
Santiago, come on up here and stand next to me.
I think you go.
This is the best part of my job by far. This is my guy, Santiago Renteria. Santiago, tonight, is going to become the 84th member of the class of 2024 from Hayesville High School. And I just want to tell you a little bit about him before we do that. Santiago is a hard worker. He's honest. He is very popular in the school. He always has a smile. See? He's smiling. Every time I see Santiago, he's smiling. He's a real friendly young man. He's got a good friend group. He's got a bright future ahead of him. So, really excited about that. I'm going to tell everybody what my nickname for Santiago has been for the last 4 years, if that's okay. Jefe. He's Jefe to me. And I always call him that. That translates to chief or boss. And it's because Santiago is a natural leader. Okay, I know he's going to do very, very well in the future in his career, with his family. He's going to do great things because everybody just kind of gravitates towards Santiago. To his friends and his family, thank you for being here tonight. I know you're also very proud of him, as we all are, and this is quite an accomplishment. So we'll get the show on the road. Dr. Shook, and to the Clay County Board of Education, I now certify to you that Mr. Santiago Renteria Mendoza, a member of the Hayesville High School class of 2024, has met the graduation requirements of the state of North Carolina and the Clay County Board of Education and is entitled to this diploma. Congratulations. Now we're going to make it official.
Yeah.
Dr. Shook.
So by the power vested in me by the state of North Carolina and the Board of Education of Clay County Schools, I confer this diploma and declare Santiago Renteria Mendoza a graduate of the class of 2024 of Hayesville High School. Congratulations.
Y'all just kind of scoot forward because he's tall. All right, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Congratulations.
Now we have cake.
That's mom.
His friends are here. I love it. Love it.
We need a minute to dry
They don't want to get on.
What happened to my spaghetti? Never made it home.
All right. Well, I can't think of a better way to start a board meeting than that. But I also have some more recognition and good news that I want to share. I just want to take a minute and recognize some of our substitutes. We had 4 substitutes that served over 50 days as a substitute in this past school year. I think that is remarkable and definitely is very appreciated by me and by our district leadership team. It's hard to come by good subs, and they are lifesavers in an emergency. And so I just want to take a minute and recognize our most faithful subs. I'd like to start with Miss Brooke Reynolds, if you'll come on up. When I say that we're recognizing people that subbed 50 days or more, Brooke really took that to the max. She subbed 95 days in this past school year. So come on up. We just want to present this token of appreciation to you and for serving our school so well. Thank you. And if you'll hang around, we'll get a picture in just a minute, okay? We also had Turner Guidry. Turner couldn't be here today. He's on his way home from Pennsylvania. But he subbed for 70 days this school year, which was really remarkable. We also had Chris Batchelder, who subbed 56 and a half days this school year. And last but not least, Miss Pam Bradshaw, come on up. Chris is in Minnesota and will be till the start of school, so I wasn't able to recognize her just yet, but we will certainly make sure that she and Turner both are recognized when they return from their trips. But Miss Pam also subbed 50 days on the dot this year, and so we wanted to express our appreciation to you. And here you go, these are for you. Thank you so much. Come on up, Miss Brooke.
You get on this side.
What a cute.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
We appreciate you, ladies.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's nice. Oh, okay. Awesome.
Dr. Clapsaddle, please come up. Yeah. So we had a special called meeting last Thursday, Thursday before last. And at that time, we named our new middle school principal. And so I want to just take a minute in a regular board meeting and officially introduce her. I know that you all know her. She's not a new face to us. She's a familiar face. But I just wanted to officially introduce her in her new capacity as Hayesville Middle School's principal. So just want to take a minute and welcome her. Welcome. Thank you. Would you like to say anything?
Bring back the tears from the graduation. That's why we're here. That makes my heart small. And I wanted to get those ladies and say, Hayesville Middle's open to subs. I was one of those names. I'll have to tell you just a really quick story about Melissa's the last Friday, and I didn't touch her. Melissa was giving me the ins and outs and this and that, and I think she kind of saw the terror on my face, and I was like, okay, I'm done. I got to take a break just a minute. And she called me later on and said, are you okay? You're not laying away yet, are you? I'm good. I was just I was enjoying my summer.
I can't do it.
She called. She called. I was like, when do I start? Monday? Okay. But no, I'm excited. Everybody has been so very welcoming to me down there at the middle school already. We've already got some things rolling and some changes going, and I think we're ready. We're ready to get started. And I've already got some ideas, so I'll be reaching out to you.
Very good. Well, thank you. Thank you. Next, we have the HHS athletic recognition, and we'll start with Coach Mike White in soccer. Yeah.
There's a whole bunch of people out there. I will say while they're coming in, we did, because we have so many athletes to recognize, which is a great thing. We've split them up between this meeting and the August meeting, so there'll be additional spring sport recognition at the August meeting as well.
How much time do we have?
I'm waiting for somebody to say not very much. Anyway, I'm Coach White. I coached, I had the honor and the privilege and joy of coaching the Lady Jackets soccer team this past spring. A lot of young players, really determined bunch of ladies. They work hard, the practices, we work and push through good weather, bad weather, hot, cold, rain. We didn't have the season that we'd like to have had, but we did end up, really doing much better towards the end, and that just says a lot about these ladies and all the ladies that came out. But out of that, we had 2 players that were, truly recognized as in the conference by the coaches, and I'm so glad to be here with them. The first is Reese Seegers. She's a freshman this year. So she came with a grit and determination and the desire that every coach just loves, because they are going to take that and they are going to work hard at improving their skills. Being a freshman, right? There's a lot of, it's a real eye-opener for freshmen when they play their first varsity high school game. It's like, what have I gotten myself into? Do I really want to be here? So, but she did well. She played a lot of midfield and defense for us, which means there aren't a lot of stats to go along with those kinds of positions. But so one day I asked her, I said, where do you really want to play? She goes, I don't care, just put me wherever you need. And it was that kind of attitude that we had out of a lot of the girls, okay? She was a strong player. She doesn't back down from anybody. If somebody comes where she is with the ball, well, they're going to know she's there, okay? She's very physical and very strong, and she's also has very good vision for such a young player. And that's what you need to develop attacks. Once you win the ball, you have to have the vision of where are the weaknesses in the other team, where are the spaces we can put the ball to attack. And she brings a lot of that with her, and a lot of that you can't teach. It's just one of those things that a player either has or it's really hard to develop, and she has that. So, she's going to get the ball. One time she got the ball, bounced up between her knees. She held that ball between her knees and started hopping up the field. The referee needed to blow his whistle. But that's okay. That's just the kind of player that she is. And with that, she was recognized by other coaches, and with that, she earned an honorable mention. So, congratulations. He already gave it to you. And the other player is Brianna Abrams. And one of these days I'm going to learn to spell her name right. She is a joy to watch. I know that probably not many of you came, but she is, I call her my fireball. She plays forward. And she's the kind of player who wants the ball at her feet. She wants it. Give me the ball, give me the ball, give me the ball. And when she gets it, she's going to go to goal. She is going to attack goal. She is going to turn on the defender. She's going to take on the defender. She is going to lean on the defender, and the defender wins the ball. She's going to go get back. Okay? She's that kind of player, that kind of personality. She wants the ball. Sometimes, and I hate this, but sometimes she says, it's boring up here because of this kind of season we had, okay? But I'm sorry. So I did pull her back a couple of times in the midfield, and it's like, well, I still want the ball, and I'm still going to ball. So, but that's what you need. That's what in soccer we call the true number 9 player.
A number 9 player is a player who knows how to get the ball, who knows how to go to goal. And because of that, she had the most goals, she had the most assists, and she had the most shots on goal of any player of the team. But that's, that's when you just, it's a joy to watch when she gets the ball, because you never know how she's going to do it, but you know what she's going to try to do. She's going to go, right? So with that, she terrorized some defenses in our conference, okay, which is an awesome kind of player to have too, okay. So anyway, recognized by the conference, all conference, being Ben's a junior, so I'm hoping that both of you will come back next year and help us as a season.
Thank you. Thank you.
Just keep practicing.
1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
Congratulations.
Next we have Miss Melissa Peck, with Coach Peck with softball.
I'm Coach Peck, Coach Marissa Peck. I have the joy of coaching the varsity ladies softball team. This is my second year. We are in a growing season. We are in a season of trying to change the culture and trying to increase numbers. And I'm proud to say that I have one lone senior here who is all conference honorable mention, Gracelyn Anderson. Her stats this year, she had a 555 slugging percentage. She had 12 runs, 12 hits, 8 RBIs, 4 doubles, 3 triples, 1 home run, and an 811 fielding percentage. She plays third base, which is the hot corner in softball. And it's one of the greatest positions that you'll play in softball. And this girl definitely did it with grace and stitches and all kinds of things during the season. But Gracelyn is more than a stat line. As you know, Gracelyn is really just an academic all-star as well as an athletic all-star on and off the field. She was the leader that every coach would want when you're trying to go or trying to build. And she stood up for her ground. She really led some freshmen who we started seeing some good numbers out of at the end of the season. And I know that that's partially because of Graceland's leadership as well. So she will be missed by our conference, by our whole entire team. But I wish her the very best in all of her future endeavors. But congratulations, you earned it.
There's a whole lot.
So next we have Coach Hensley with the track team.
Y'all are fine with that, dude.
Too low.
Good evening. We're really proud of our track and field athletes this year. They worked really hard. We had several regional qualifiers and we had several state qualifiers as well. Finished overall second in the conference. We'll start out with Savannah Birch. Savannah was honorable mention all conference in the 4x800 meter relay and the 4x400 meter relay. She is going to be a sophomore, so she's got a bright future ahead of her. We're really proud of Savannah. Sydney Greenstone, another upcoming sophomore, worked really hard this year. She was honorable mention all conference in the 4x800 relay, and she is one of our distance runners that has a really bright future ahead of her, and we're really proud of you. discus throw. She also was a silver medalist in the regional, and she was a state qualifier as well. And she also broke the school record in the discus this year, so we're really proud of Lily and her hard work. Raylan Wood. Raylan was honorable mention all conference in the 4x800. She will be a junior this year, so she still has a bright future for us, works really hard on and off the field, and we're really proud of you too, Raylan. Congratulations. Riley Clampett. Riley was honorable mention all conference in the 4x400 meter relay. She also is one of our top hurdlers, and she also is going to be a junior as well. So another bright future for Riley, and she's a really hard worker. We're really proud of you. Thank you. Skylar Lockaby. Skylar was honorable mention all conference in the 4x800 relay and the 4x400 relay. Also, you're going to be a sophomore, junior. So again, another bright future, a really hard-working athlete. She's one of our sprinters also, and we're just really proud of Skylar. Thank you. Jacob Jones. He was honorable mention all conference in the 300 meter hurdles. He also was a third place finisher in the regional meet for the 300 meter hurdles and was a state qualifier. Jacob worked really hard, and we're really proud of him. Congratulations. Yeah. So we have a bunch of athletes that are out of town. Seth Leak was actually an all-conference. He was first place in the 400 meter dash, regional qualifier, and state qualifier. So we're really proud of Seth. He worked really hard. Elio Murillo was a honorable mention all-conference in the 4x200 and also a regional qualifier and state qualifier. Logan Cummins was a honorable mention all conference in the 4x400 meter relay and a regional qualifier. Cannon Brewer was an honorable mention all conference in the 4x400 relay and also a regional qualifier. Kenyon Rogers Gibby was a honorable mention all conference in the 4x100 and 4x200 and was a regional and state qualifier. Isaac Chandler was honorable mention all conference in the 4x1, 4x2, and 4x400 meter relay and was a regional qualifier and state qualifier. Trey Graves was a honorable mention all conference in the 4x100 relay and a regional qualifier. Ava Shook was honorable mention all conference in the 400 meter dash, the 4x400 relay, and the 200 meter, and was also a regional qualifier. Ella Matheson was a silver medalist at the regional meet and was a third place podium finisher at the state competition, and she also broke the school record in the triple jump. And then Taylor McClure was honorable mention all conference in the shot put, and he was also a silver medalist at the regional meet and then also a silver medalist at the state competition. So we're really proud of our track and field this year. They worked really hard and have a promising future. So let's go Jackets. Yes. Okay.
Tall girl.
I can't stand up my hair right.
I got you, Kelly. All right, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Thank y'all.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
All right.
She didn't make a mistake, yeah.
Okay.
Just there.
So I have more good news to share. We've been talking for a few months about the Hayesville High School's accreditation process, and we've been getting some indicators that that had gone well. We've gotten a full review, but now it's official, and so we have the plaque to prove it. And so I just wanted to take a minute and acknowledge that we have the official certificate of accreditation for Hayesville High School, and we couldn't be more proud of how well they represented our district in this process and the leadership that was shown by not only our principals and system principals in that process, but also the teacher leaders that were involved in that process. It really was a school-wide effort, and I'm super proud of the results that were achieved through this process, and I just wanted to present this to Mr. Overland for the high school. So I want to share that with you guys, and
That's awesome.
Congratulations.
Always good for it to be official. Right?
What is the time frame? Is it 3 years?
5 years, right, Mr. Overland?
5 years.
Yep.
Wow.
I think you can be accredited with some things you have to do in the meantime, but that's not the level that we achieved. The higher level that's 5 years. So, way to go.
Yes. Wow. Great.
It's a lot of good recognitions there. Nice way to start the board meeting.
For 5 years.
Celebrating.
Yeah.
Breathing a big sigh of relief.
Next, we have the superintendent's report.
Yeah, if it's okay, I'm just gonna stay right here and just share with you some things. There'll be a more formal report on this in the future, but for now I just wanted to mention that we have been working toward an endowment. We needed $100,000 to be able to create an endowment for Go Global, and to be able to have a commitment of being able to send one teacher per year on a Go Global experience. And if we were able to reach that, we had to raise $50,000, and then the state would match that, which would give us the $100,000 so that we could do that on an annual basis. And so I'm just happy to report that we have met that goal. We have a full $100,000 to be able to do that. And so starting in the summer of 26, it will take that long to get everything in place and for the interest to generate for us to be able to do that. But starting in summer of 26, we'll be able to use the interest off those funds to send our first participant. And so I'll be sharing with you more about that, the donors that contributed to that and what that process looks like. But just in the meantime, I wanted to share that little bit of good news. Facility updates. I just wanted to share some things that have been going on campus that our maintenance staff, I know they're not here, but I just want to tell you how incredibly hard they've been working and what they've accomplished in the short time that we've had this summer. We have, and these are projects, some of these are projects that the board has approved based on the cost, and then some are just projects that are ongoing. But I wanted to share with you, we are putting up wallboard in Hayesville Primary School. We've noticed that little ones like to touch the walls with all the things, and then they also sit in the hallways at dismissal time, and so those walls were kind of impossible to keep clean. And for that to be such a nice, beautiful facility and the walls to constantly be in need of cleaning was just a struggle. And so we have purchased like a plastic sheet that's being applied to the walls. You often see these in kitchens or in hospitals that you can just easily wipe down. And so that's about 75% complete. It looks really good. I know Ms. Clemens is very pleased with that, but our maintenance men have been installing that. Recently, we did a poll approval with the board regarding the need for air conditioning repair here in the central office, and that equipment has been ordered, and we're hopeful it will be here in the next week. Our maintenance staff has been installing mini split units in Hayesville High School and in the cafeteria. These were cost-effective solutions to aging chillers, and this was a more cost-effective solution. And I'm happy to report that all the labor has been done in-house, and so it has been no expense to the district for labor, any additional expense. So we're very thankful for their hard work on that. We've got pressure washing going on around campus, making our campus, especially our entryways, clean and ready for the start of school. The Hayesville High School gym floor was sanded down to the wood. It's gotten a new paint job and then a refinishing of the gym floor. It looks really, really nice. I will say that in that process, we found termites in the gym floor. And so that's had to be treated and addressed as well. So we were able to identify where they were coming up, and that's been remedied as well. So they're also, the flooring company is continuing to work on refinishing the other 3 gym floors. We have had 4 classrooms at the middle school that have, when we put down the new flooring, there's been some glue that's kind of been seeping up due to a water issue, a moisture issue, and so that has been repaired and it looks much, much better. Let's see here. We're going to have to do some reconfiguration with the middle school because of construction. The front entrance is no longer going to be able to be the main entrance of the middle school. We're going to have to reconfigure the main entrance to be on this side near the media center. And so because of that, we didn't want to be buzzing people in without somebody directly being able to see them. So we have converted the conference room to a receptionist area, and so maintenance has helped bust out the wall and put in a window, and so it looks really great. So if you get a chance to go by and see what they've done over there, they've done some painting, looks really good. We've had new carpet installed at the high school, in the library, the lecture hall, and the band room, and that also looks really, really good. There's been lots of moving classrooms. One of the projects that has gone, we're adding 2 classrooms at the elementary school for the large upcoming class, and so we've had to move around some classrooms just to kind of make it flow. That's happened, and as well as one of the changes that happened at the middle school was the 7th grade and the 6th grade classrooms switched places, and that was so that 6th grade is on a hall by themselves, so with their own bathroom, and it kind of kept grade levels separated a little bit, and so that required a lot of work on our maintenance staff as well, but I think it was a really a good move. We're in the process of switching over to a new company for our chemicals, our cleaning supplies, paper towels, toilet paper, all of that. So that work is going on, changing out all the dispensers. And some work that's still to come is sprucing up the landscaping, doing some trimming, some freshening up the mulch, and also this grassy area where the house was on the corner is going to be converted into parking because we've lost all of our parking at the middle school. And so that work is currently being quoted, and we're working on that. So it's been busy around here this summer. So I just wanted to share with you the things that have been going on, and really a shout out to our maintenance guys for doing so much of this stuff and in such a short time. I wanted to give you some quick updates on the Hayesville Intermediate School project. We will be having our official groundbreaking ceremony. That's going to be going on Wednesday morning, this Wednesday at 9:30. So any of you that would like to come, we welcome you to be there. That will correspond with our monthly construction meeting, which happens on the 4th Wednesday of the month. So we're just going to lump it all together since the architects, the contractors, and school personnel will all be coming together anyway. The auditorium has is completely gone, and they're working on, as you know, there were boilers that were in the basement of the auditorium that had to be relocated. That boiler still needs to continue to serve the middle school. It also served the rock gym. So some other work that's been going on is completely redoing the HVAC in the rock gym so that when the middle school is demolished, that boiler can be eliminated completely. So that boiler that has been relocated will just temporarily serve the middle school until it's demolished. So that's been going on. We are spending considerable time talking about transportation when school starts, including car transportation, bus transportation, and what that's going to look like. It is going to require some some changes, and it will have some significant impacts. And so we've been playing around with some different scenarios involving our friends at the Sheriff's Department, DOT, our district leadership team, our transportation director, all coming together and trying to figure out the best solutions to serve our families. So that's what's going on with Hayesville Intermediate School. And as far as staffing goes, we have 2 current vacancies. One is the position that was vacated by Dr. Clapsaddle, and she took the position. So we have a math position at Hayesville High School, and then a custodian position at the elementary school. So we're doing pretty good with our staffing for this year, and I'm thankful for that. That's my update. That was a lot.
Yeah.
No.
Ms. Garber, Matt, on the middle school flooring, I know that's kind of been an issue. Do you think that's been, hopefully it's resolved?
I hope so. And there's also that balance of how much money do you want to put into a project that's going to go away. This had to be addressed because the glue coming up was getting on kids' shoes, and then they were walking, and not only was it not pretty, it was also creating issues everywhere. It was getting on kids' shoes. So I think it is resolved. The 4 rooms that they did is not all of the issues. There were the 4 worst, but we're making sure that this method that we're using is successful, and if there has to be more, then we'll at least know. We didn't want to do all of the rooms and then it not work, so this was kind of a trial run, but hopefully it has been resolved. But we try to fix it in the cheapest way possible given the circumstances. So anyway, Cook's Carpet has worked hard on helping us with that project, and since they did the original install with that. So.
And the other thing with the transportation, just as soon as we can kind of get that nailed down, we'll be pushing that info out.
We will, to parents. Yep.
And newspaper.
Yeah.
Newspaper, help us get that out.
Yeah, so we're talking about diagrams, videos, pushing it out, open house. I know the primary school's got a plan to practice our new plan at an event that they're planning. So our hope is by August 1st to be able to really advertise our plan. That's my goal, and that will give us a good 3 weeks to really make sure parents understand it. That's our hope. Have any other thoughts or questions about any of that?
Very good. Thank you for that. Busy summer. Summer's always busy, but it's been especially busy for that.
Yeah.
So next we'll go to the action item on the agenda, and that is policy 4400, which is the attendance policy. And Ms. Goff is going to go over that, and that's been in your packet and email as well.
So normally with policies, we just give those to the board ahead of time to review, and they're usually approved in the consent agenda. This one is a policy that I felt like needed a little more explanation and the opportunity to make sure that what we're pushing out is clear and understood by everyone. Because it does have big impacts to all of our families. And so I wanted to just spend a few minutes talking about these policy changes and why they were made. So one is based on parent input. So our goal as a school district is that we equip our parents to not only understand the attendance policy, but also that we make it so that parents and families can be compliant. And part of that is just knowing the policy, but the other part is also making sure that it's understood and workable for our families. And we also had district leadership feedback. So our district leadership team spent a lot of time looking at this policy just based on some things that were primarily related to the next thing, which is post-COVID concerns. So during COVID, our attendance policy was very loose, and there was lots of different ways that you could be counted present, and that no longer exists. But we seem to have had a hard time getting our families and our students back on board with more strict attendance policies. And so we've seen a rise in parents not being able to be compliant with the policy, and we really want to address absenteeism in a way that is proactive and successful. And we also want to address the implications of chronic absenteeism. So I will say that the policy that we currently have in place is a stringent policy, and it was created that way to try and refocus attention on the importance of school attendance. And so the current policy that we have in place is that students, once they get to 10 absences. After that, they're required to have a doctor's note. So if on day 11, 12, 13, anything beyond 10, you're required to have a doctor's note. And so the parent feedback that we've gotten from that is, well, my kid has missed 10 days, but they have a stomach bug, and I don't want to take off work to take them to the doctor. I don't want to spend the money to take them to the doctor when I know it's just a stomach bug and it's a 24-hour thing. And so parents were feeling a lot of pressure to take their children to the doctor maybe when they didn't actually need to take them to the doctor. And so that's not our goal. Our goal is not that parents have to spend money when it's not needed, or to take them to the doctor unnecessarily. So the intent behind this policy was really just to make sure that kids are at school, and if they're not at school, that they have a valid reason for not being at school. But we've talked about, as a district leadership team and with parent input, how can we still emphasize the importance of school attendance, but also be receptive to what our parents are saying about this policy. And so the solution that we've come up with, which is up for approval, includes some changes to the attendance policy, which is that we would, if this policy was approved, we would allow 7 absences to be excused by a parent note at any time during the year. So you may be wondering, like, how is that really different? It was 10, now it's 7, like, how is that different? Well, so sometimes if a student is out for 5 days with the flu, and then right after that, they have a death in the family and they're out for another week, then they are already at their 10 days. And they might be very early on in the year. And we've also had students who get to that 10th day and they've not used a parent note at all. And so just for different circumstances. So this would allow for parents to be able to submit a parent note anytime during the year for up to 7 days. So if they submit a doctor's note, it doesn't count toward that 7. So obviously we're encouraging parents, when you have a doctor's note, submit the doctor's note. So the idea is that even if it's April and you've got 13 absences, if you haven't used all your parent notes, you could use a parent note for that and not be required to take your child to the doctor. But we also don't want to loosen the policy so much that we're not continuing to push the importance of school attendance. So there's some other changes that we would like to put in place. As far as the policy itself, you know that this template is built kind of on the model policy from the School Board Association. So we have clarified that the times of day that you have to be here at school to be counted present, and so that is, you have to be here for 2/3 of the day. So if you're tardy, you have to arrive before 10:30. If you leave early, you must not leave before 12:30. So that 10:30, 12:30 cutoffs are included in the policy now, which is what we've been following. We're just including it in policy. For high school students, they must be present for 1/2 of the block to be counted present, which is also not new. It's just clarifying it in policy. The other thing that I would like to do is put a superintendent regulation in place related to this policy that maybe puts the policy in a little bit more plain language that parents can understand. So you also have in your packet the proposed regulation that I would like to put in place. Some things that are included in the regulation is that we would like to make it easier for parents to submit notes, parent notes. So some of the feedback that we've gotten from parents is that they send a note with their child and it never gets out of the planner or out of the backpack. And as parents, we can all understand and relate to that. So we would like to utilize email addresses that those could be sent directly to the school. So those would be attendance at HayesvillePSPrimarySchool.org, attendance at HayesvilleES.org. And so there would be this attendance email that parents could send directly to the office, their absent notes. Or they could take a picture of a doctor's note and send it in, and then they don't have to worry so much about those physical pieces of paper getting there. It clarifies that attendance is taken daily in K-8. So for K-8 students, you are present for the day or you are not present for the day. And for 9-12, that attendance is taken by period. So attendance would be based on each block that you attend. We have state requirements for notifying parents of unexcused absences. Those are the 3, 6, and 10-day notification letters. So this regulation just spells that out. I'm not sure why it's not in policy, given that it's state law that we do that, but it's not in board policy. But I do think that it's helpful for parents to be able to reference policy and regulation and understand why those letters are sent. It also, this regulation explains the process for applying for an educational opportunity and getting that approved, and so that is in the regulation. And probably the biggest thing that we wanted, as I said, we want to be more flexible with the use of parent notes, but we also want parents to understand that regardless of whether or not students have excused absences or unexcused absences, when you're not in school, you're not learning the content, and that can have implications to your academic progress. So we wanted to put some information in here regarding retention or class failure due to chronic absenteeism. And so basically this just outlines that a student in K-8 who has 17 absences is at risk for an attendance-related retention. That doesn't necessarily mean that if they miss 17 days that they're automatically going to be retained. It means that they'll be considered for retention, and that would involve the principal and the academic teams looking at that student's progress and determining if they've met the requirements for promotion. In 9-12 in high school, this would be course failure if you have 12 or more unexcused absences in the semester, unless a waiver is granted by the principal. So these aren't hard lines, but we do feel like it's important for both our teachers, our administrators, and our parents to understand at what point that chronic absenteeism really starts to have an effect on a student's overall academic progress. So one of the things that the high school has been very creative with is offering Saturday school so that you can make up absences. So that could be one of the ways in which a student is granted a waiver, is if they make up some of their time that they've missed. One of the other struggles we have as a school and a district is that the state law really doesn't have a lot of options for addressing chronic tardiness or those very frequent early dismissals. So in this regulation, it outlines that for the purpose of considering retention or course failure, that 10 early dismissals or tardies would be considered an absence. And so that allows us to have conversations with parents about constant tardies and constant early dismissals. Also, there is rules in the state about withdrawing students when they've missed 10 consecutive days, and so this regulation just outlines the state procedure for that, for 10-day withdrawals. So I think that this regulation, it works hand in hand with the policy, but it also kind of clarifies things and outlines the processes a bit more. So that is what we have worked hard, and a lot of people in this room have been involved in that process, and I'm happy to answer any questions that you have. But we do think it's important to get this policy approved so that we can start making sure families understand these changes. Just as we talked about making sure families understand transportation changes, we want to make sure they understand from the start of school. And I also want them to know that we hear them when they're talking about the difficulty of getting parent notes, but at the same time, make sure that they understand the importance of consistent school attendance. Do you guys have any questions?
Questions or comments?
I don't have any.
Go ahead.
I was just going to say, it looks so reasonable. It looks as though it's been well thought out and a lot of effort put into it, and it should be clear, concise, and workable.
I hope so.
You know,
Yeah.
I mean, there are always going to be those who want to work the system, but you've got a system here.
Yeah.
I like that. Thank you.
Hopefully parents won't feel forced into taking their kid to the doctor. They'll have some flexibility to do that. So.
Very good. Well, is there a motion that we approve the attendance policy as it was presented, policy 4400?
I'll make a motion to approve it.
Ms. Beck has a motion. Is there a second to that?
I'll second it.
Ms. Crawford, second. All in favor? Thank you. Next, we have the Clay County Sheriff's Office Memorandum of Understanding for School Resource Officers.
So you guys have a copy of the Memorandum of Understanding in your packet. This has not changed. There's only, for the most part, there's only one thing that was added, and it was added to the state template. So it wasn't added by our Sheriff's Department it was added to the template that we use. And so I'm not going to go over this in great detail because it is lengthy and it's also not new information to you. And so this just outlines how our SROs function on campus, how they're supervised, and what we agree to do in terms of providing materials and space for them, and those types of things. I did meet with the sheriff along with Adrian Jeffries, our safety director, and we talked about a few things, particularly about radios and computers and telephones, and made sure that we were all on the same page about those things. The only thing that has been added since you all approved this memorandum of understanding is on page 9 of this document, and it is number 4, which just says that the relationship between SROs and school administration is a collaborative effort between the Clay County Sheriff's Office, its SROs, and the Clay County Public School System and its employees. The SROs are employees of the Clay County Sheriff's Office and are supervised by the SRO supervisor and the Clay County Sheriff's Office chain of command. They are not employees of the Clay County Public School System, nor are they supervised by the Clay County Public School System or its employees. So that's the only thing that has been added since you all last approved this. But since I'm in this position and we have a new sheriff, we felt like it was an appropriate time to update that since we are both in new leadership roles.
Very good. Any questions or comments about that?
Just curious, how many do we have on campus?
SROs?
Yes.
We have 3.
3.
Mm-hmm.
And they are.
So we have one that's shared between primary and elementary. We have one at the middle school and one at the high school. And Donovan Byers is at the high school. He serves as the SRO supervisor on campus.
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
I was going to ask, this was, I think, initially approved in January.
And
so do we need to change the date?
I just noticed that too. So this was actually when the sheriff initially sent this to me for approval, and I said we need to meet, we need to talk about this and whatever. So that meeting happened just recently, and so I will get that corrected before we sign it. Yes.
Very good. Any other questions or comments? If not, I'll entertain a motion that we approve this memorandum of understanding with the sheriff's office.
I'll make a motion to approve as long as we
Sure.
get the change.
Correct. Yes. Thank you for catching that.
Ms. Crawford has made a motion that we approve the memorandum with the change in date to reflect July 2020.
I'll second it.
Ms. Beck seconds that. All in favor? Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Crawford. Next, we have the approval of the consent agenda, and that contains the minutes for the July 11th, 2024 special session that was emailed to you, and you have in your packets. And then we have the policies for first read, graduation requirements, promotion, and accountability.
Those are just information.
Gotcha. So is there a motion that we approve the consent agenda?
Make a motion.
Mr. Paul has a motion, Mr. Jones second, all in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Now the policies for first read, sorry. And those are, copies of those are in your email. For first read, those are 3460 graduation requirements, 3420 student promotion and accountability, 1310 and 4002 parental involvement, 3220 technology, and 3225, 4312, and 7320 technology responsible use.
Those last two are primarily about the use of AI in schools. So.
Any other questions or comments from the board? If not, I'll entertain a motion that we go into closed session.
Make a motion, we go into closed session.
Mr. Jones, is
I'll
there?
second it.
Ms. Beck seconds, all in favor?
Aye.